ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुक्तापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवम् श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितां च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकां राधा कांत सुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वदान सुते कल्याणी हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे
हरे हरे
हरे
हरे
राम
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 राम हरे हरे।
Okay. So we were on the sixth chapter and we stopped at 6.34. We'll continue with 6.35. So just before that, Arjuna, when he hears this whole yoga system of leaving home and going to forest and um, meditating there by looking at the tip of the nose, he felt it is all very impractical. He said, mind is unsteady, restless, what to do? Mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, very strong. And oh Krishna, to subduing more difficult. Meaning I can control the wind, but to subdue the mind is very difficult. And so we'll go into the solution that Krishna is giving here. 6.35. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Asanshayam Bhahavau Mano Durnigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Konteya Vairagyena Sagrihate. Lord Shri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by detachment. So, two things he said, you have to practice, at the same time, you have to detach also from the material world. Slowly, we should learn to detach, and then when we practice, it will help us. Now, there is a trick for detachment. There is a trick for detachment. Last time we discussed something about detachment. But what is a trick for detachment? How do parents trick their children? If they want certain things, how do they trick them? They may give something else. Very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is what Krishna also says in this verse. Maybe in the second next verse, the verse may come. It's in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, actually. Hmm. विषय विनिवर्तन्ते निरासदेन रसवचम रसोपि यत param दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते. This param drishtva nivartate means if one gets higher pleasure, one can then give up lower pleasure. It's very simple. Everyone has this experience. When the child gets a cycle, he forgets his tricycle. When he gets a bike, he forgets his bicycle. When he gets a car, he forgets his motorbike. And when he gets a plane, he forgets his car. Right?
Yes, that's correct.
So everyone experiences this. Param drishtva nivartate. Meaning you get some higher pleasure, you can give up lower pleasure. Okay. So basically replacement of that. So trick for detachment is we should get more attached to Krishna. Then automatically what is unfavorable to Krishna consciousness is given up. If you become more attached to Krishna, so to more attached to Krishna means many things. Huh? Krishna means Krishna himself, his names, qualities, pastimes, holy places, his deity form, temple, everything. Okay, Krishna means all of this thing. Okay, so when we get more attached to any one of these things, to all of this thing which belongs to Krishna, which is connected very much to Krishna, then automatically which is unfavorable to Krishna consciousness will give up. Right now we are attached to reading Bhagavad Gita. So this 1 hour we are giving up all other attachment. Our attachment to work, our attachment to lunch, our attachment to go out, right? And we are then sitting here. And if we tell someone, I do this 1 hour I give to Bhagavad Gita, and that person will say, how come you became more detached, right? He will say like this, साधु संत कैसे बन गया तू right? So because we get pleasure in Krishna, we can give up other pleasure. When one gets pleasure in Krishna and Krishna conscious activities, then he can easily give up other material pleasures. Let's put it like that. So this is the trick for detachment. We don't have to forcibly detach. If we get more attached to Krishna, automatically our all other attachments will go away, and then somehow we'll become detached. Magic. Now what happens with Dhyana Yoga, Karma Yoga? They have to forcefully detach themselves. Jnana Yoga, they have to forcefully detach. How do they detach themselves? How do they detach themselves?
Like Dhyan Yogi goes to some forest so that they can be like in isolation from all the like
Sure, yeah.
like that. So
Yeah, they have to forcefully do things.
yes,
Like going to forest, live simple and all that. Live on leaves. Not simple, even leaves and water, don't eat, don't drink. Like that. A bhakti yogi also has to follow rules. Okay, it is not that he doesn't have to follow rules, but not very severe rules. His rules are very simple. What are his rules?
just four regulative principle and chanting
Four
the
regulative
holy names.
principle, Ekadashi Upas.
Yeah, and serving devotees.
Yeah.
But if any one of them is missing, then still we miss the this bhakti yoga, Prabhu, right?
Not any one of them is missing. See, there are few things like, uh, let's say if you are following all of this,
Hmm.
then being neglectful can make us fall down. Being neglectful. There are two things: purposefully neglectful and then offenses to Vaishnavas. These two things, na, even after doing all this, can make us fall down in bhakti yoga.
mm,
Sometimes that neglectfulness can happen. It happened in the case of King Bharat. What happened with him is, he became attached to a deer. When he was doing all the processes, he became attached to deer.
mm,
And then he forgot the process. He was always thinking where the deer is and all that. So at that time of dying, right,
mm,
he thought of the deer. Then he got the body of the deer in next life. He got the body of the deer. And then after that, when he took another body, that time he got human body and he became Jada Bharat.
mm.
In Jada Bharat, he didn't even, in Jada Bharat, he was not even, what to say, he was not even following all the regulative principles, nothing he was doing. He was just
Mm,
meditating on the Supreme Lord, that's it. And, not doing anything else. So when dacoits caught him and were trying to kill him, he didn't protest. He was seen as a madman. That's why it's called Jada Bharat. Jada means it's like tree.
Yeah,
Ah,
stick like who is,
yeah,
uh,
it's very hard. It cannot be
yeah.
bent. Yeah, so that's
Mm,
how he did, and that. So anyway, the story is that um, purposeful neglectfulness happened in the case of Bharat Maharaj.
mm,
That he became attached to the deer, and then next life he took deer. So this is one thing, and second is Vaishnava Aparadh. Vaishnava Aparadh. There are many examples of Vaishnava Aparadh. One is Daksha Maharaj. So what happened is, Lord Shiva was his uh,
father-in-law.
no, no, his
No,
son-in-law.
yeah,
Son-in-law.
son-in-law. Yeah, correct.
And then once in a yagya, he didn't respect. He didn't get up when Daksha came. So Daksha then said, Lord Shiva is not a great person. He's not a very great person. He lives in uh, Smashan Bhumi, and is living with ghosts. Doesn't have a proper place to live under a tree. Like that, he says many bad things about Lord Shiva, and he goes away. Then his wife comes to know there is some program at her father's house, but father has not invited. She still
Mm,
goes. She says, no, no, I am the favorite daughter of my father. He will listen. But what happens is, he doesn't even talk to her. So she gets angry and she says, what is the point of being connected with you, father? So she commits suicide. By generating fire, she burns her body. So Sati.
mm,
So then, Lord Shiva gets angry and gets Daksha's head being cut. And then finally, Daksha is forgiven and he gets the head of a goat.
mm,
So the story is about Vaishnava Aparadh, meaning you do some offense at the feet of a devotee, and then your whole life is destroyed. So there are two things. What happens is, one is purposefully neglectful, and second one is Vaishnava Aparadh. So we have to be careful of these two things in Bhakti Yoga.
2 points, like one is purposeful and another one is by mistake. These two.
By mistake, nahi, by offending a devotee.
Okay, by offending a devotee by purpose, but we can do it purposefully or by I mean by
Purposeful
mistake
means
we.
neglectful of bhakti principles.
Okay.
Neglectful of bhakti principles. That's why we have to be attentive.
So, so Prabhu,
Attentive.
last time, like in the previous class, you mentioned about this soul,
Yeah.
ultimately, so not the soul. You mentioned that we need the mercy of the bhaktas.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. See, we
so
need the
is
sorry, yeah, go ahead, Yeah.
so these two things are related, Prabhu. Like you
Okay,
think like.
okay.
Uh,
I'll explain another one more time. See, what I was explaining is how does one come to bhakti? Oh, where I'm writing. How does one come to bhakti? He only comes to bhakti by devotees association and mercy. Okay, that is the only reason.
hmm,
None of the other
hmm,
reason works. The Lord cannot give mercy. The Lord cannot give bhakti. Otherwise, he will become partial. Devotee can give on behalf of the Lord or actually on behalf of bhakti. So devotee, those who are in the spiritual world, now they come down to this material world, they become the gurus like Narad Muni and Vyasadeva and all that. And they, in their association, inspired by bhakti within their heart, they give their bhakti, devotion to Krishna to any person like that. So by devotees association and mercy, so their mercy comes when one serves them unknowingly or
hmm,
knowingly. Okay, unknowingly knowingly
hmm,
serves them, devotee becomes happy, gives him a chance to do bhakti. Now after coming to bhakti, one has to follow these principles, right? Four regulatory principle, chanting, ekadashi, bhakti yoga, etc., and he has to be attentive. So he has to be attentive to maya's tricks and vaishnava aparadha. There are 10 aparadhs, out of which the vaishnava aparadha is considered very dangerous. In vaishnava aparadha, the guru aparadha is also there. So
hmm,
those are considered very dangerous. And then there is maya's tricks, meaning maya will show us attraction. Like Bharat Maharaj got attracted to deer.
hmm,
Attraction to money, fame, opposite sex. um, so one has to be attentive of that. So what happens is here in this case is neglectful. He's neglecting the philosophy of bhakti. In both the cases the neglect is there. Here in vaishnava aparad also neglect is there, neglecting the vaishnava etiquette, the respect and all, and he does offense to the devotee and then he falls down. Then after some time, when he goes through some troubles and all that, then he comes to his senses, he seeks forgiveness, then he comes back to bhakti.
hmm.
So how to remain in bhakti? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this trinadapi suniche, humble like grass, tolerant like tree,
Please.
and offering respect to all and expecting none for oneself. If you follow this
Hmm,
principle of humility, tolerance, and offering respects to all and expecting none for ourselves, then we will always remain in bhakti and we'll be attentive to Maya tricks and Vaishnava.
hmm.
Okay.
Okay. This is very nice explanation, Prabhu.
Hmm.
But with that, you mentioned the two reasons about when persons is not in bhakti. So, like you in the previous class, when a person is already was in bhakti, and there are people examples out there which people has been in bhakti and they certainly left the process. So one of the thing is missing there, right? Where either they are got attacked by the Maya tricks or they
Yes,
didn't got the.
this is the
Hmm.
umbrella category, Maya
Hmm.
tricks, in which there are many things happen.
Hmm.
Attraction to name, fame, attraction. There are two things. No, last time I discussed Artharthi and um, distressed. So if the
Hmm.
distress goes away, na, say some problem is there with a devotee, and he comes to Krishna, he prays, and that problem goes away. Then he forgets Krishna,
Hmm.
and sometimes he wants money. He gets money, he forgets Krishna. So all this is nothing but Maya's tricks.
Correct.
Okay,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
that's umbrella
Got it.
term. But yeah, this Vaishnava aparad is very dangerous.
Hmm.
Vaishnava aparad, even Krishna doesn't say. Here, Krishna may try to say. He may send devotee. Okay, but in Vaishnava aparad, he won't say. One has to go
So,
through the
so
difficulties.
who is looking after this? Like for when Vaishnava Apad was happened against Shiva, so he if himself took the action.
Who
Okay,
took action?
but when Shiva himself took the action, right? Like
See,
he
Shiva took
himself killed.
Shiva took offense, but actually he didn't take offense in the first time when Daksha said why he took offense. Why he took
When
offense the
his
next
wife
time?
got
Because
killed.
his wife was offended. So for
Hmm.
him, as a devotee, he was very tolerant. He was very humble.
Hmm.
But when
Hmm.
it happened to to another devotee, he didn't tolerate. So through
Okay.
him, Krishna punished Daksha.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So we should also be having this kind of attitude, like if someone is insulting me, I should tolerate. But if someone is insulting some other Vaishnava, then should we act on this or
Yes.
we should?
Yes. Now there is some
Okay.
details to it which is in Bhagavatam.
Hmm.
Right now we may not discuss the whole thing, but it has been discussed. What is to be done when a Vaishnava is offended?
Hmm.
Uh, let's see if I can quickly find out. I will read that section. Okay. Shiva curses. Okay, here.
Hmm.
Vaishnava Prad. Once. Okay. Yeah. When Sati leaves her body, now that is the time when Prabhupada talks about it. Let's go there.
Hmm.
Okay. One should not be tolerant when a person is offensive towards Vishnu or Vaishnava. Yeah. So he should not tolerate. And there are certain things to be done. Those who are offenders of the great personality dry up, their qualities decide. A great soul may forgive, but Krishna will not excuse.
Hmm.
Okay, what is to be done? Yeah, see this. If one hears a responsible person blaspheme the master or controller of religion or a Vaishnava, one should block his ears and go away if he is unable to punish him. If one is not able to kill, then one should cut out the blasphemer's tongue and kill the offender.
Oh my God.
And after that, one should give up his own life. So this is Sati who is talking. Okay, so yeah, this is the thing. One should not tolerate at any cost the activities of a person who vilifies or blasphemes an authority or a Vaishnava. If just hold on. Okay. One should not tolerate at any cost the activities of a person who blasphemes a devotee. If he is a Brahmana, then he should not give up the body. Okay, but what he should
Hmm.
do is he should lock his ears, or he should argue with that person and shut him down. That is one thing. If he's a Kshatriya, then he has to punish. But if he's a Vaishya and Shudra, then he should give up his body. Or actually, the second thing is he can we can walk away from that situation.
Hmm.
So these instructions are mentioned here.
These are very strong instructions, bro. Like,
Yeah,
I'm surprised that this is what has been written in Bhagavatam.
yeah. So if a devotee is getting offended, now see, Draupadi got offended.
Hmm.
Draupadi got offended because of that. Everybody died in the in that assembly.
In
Now
Mahabharata.
everyone died.
Hmm. Yes.
Everyone died. Bhishma was also defeated, and he had to leave his body. Dronacharya, his head got cut. So it's a very big aparat. This mad elephant it is called. Okay,
Hmm.
okay.
I do have some question, but let's not discuss this for now. Like,
So
I have some question. I probably think you later.
what you do is you read this Bhagavatam. I will just you go through this pastime. Hmm?
Hmm. Hmm. Yes, bro.
Uh, it's not here. Can I put it in this chat? If you can
Yeah,
access
yeah.
the
Just.
Yeah, if you can access the chat, just open it. Later you can read.
Hmm. Yes, bro. Okay.
Fourth canto, second, third, fourth chapter. You just go through it. You'll understand
Okay.
what exactly are there. You read the purports because there is where all the details are mentioned.
Hmm.
Okay, so coming
Okay.
back to our discussion, we almost didn't start only. Yeah, so two things Krishna says by suitable practice and detachment, and we discussed what is detachment. Detachment means to get more attached to Krishna, his holy names, qualities, pastime, and then automatically we'll become detached. So
Hmm.
when we get pleasure in Krishna and Krishna conscious activity, then we easily give up other material pleasures. That's what we see in many devotees. Some devotees, they were so attached to cricket that sometimes matches used to happen in other countries, and it would start in the midnight or early morning. They would get up that time and on that TV. But when they became devotees, they had no consideration of cricket. There was long time back, maybe 15, 18, maybe 20 years back. I was also very attached to cricket. I used to see and all that. But after becoming devotees and few years after that, I have stopped attraction for cricket. Now I don't even know what is happening. But millions of dollars have been spent, in cricket. But
Yes.
yeah, so when we get pleasure in Krishna, right, we easily give up certain pleasures. Like some devotees had problems with non-vegetarian food. I mean, they just gave up non-vegetarian. Some had problem with smoking and this, and they gave it up after coming in Krishna consciousness.
Hmm.
So when higher pleasure comes, then there are some issues that we have. So when we go deeper and deeper into Krishna consciousness, into Krishna's names, qualities, pastimes, holy names, deities, then we start giving up all the subtle attraction also that we have for this material world. Okay,
Yes, bro.
okay. Um, hmm. Let's get into this. The difficulty of controlling the obstinate mind, as expressed by Arjuna, is accepted by Supreme Personality Godhead. But at the same time, he suggests that by practice and detachment, it is possible. What is that practice? In the present age, no one can observe the strict rules and regulations of placing oneself in sacred place, focusing the mind on the super soul, restraining the senses and mind, observing celibacy, remaining alone, etc. By the practice of Krishna consciousness, however, one engages in 9 types of devotional service. See, 9 types of devotional service are there. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam, all that. That Prahlad Maharaj says. All that 9. Of first is Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, hearing and chanting and remembering Krishna. That is the basic. The first and foremost of such devotional engagement is hearing about Krishna. Just like we are hearing now Krishna, his words, his Bhagavad Gita, about him, so many things. This is very powerful transcendent method of purging the mind of all misgivings. The more one hears about Krishna, the more one becomes enlightened and detached from everything. See, Prabhupada is saying the same thing, right? And in Bhagavad Gita 259 also Krishna says, Param drishto nivartate. When we get higher pleasure, we give up lower pleasure. Vairagya means detachment from matter and engagement of mind in spirit. It is not just detachment of matter. Sometimes people have this understanding that Vairagya means giving up, giving up, giving up, giving up. But no, it is giving up and taking. Both should happen. Taking should also happen and giving up should also happen. So taking from the right source, giving up everything which is unfavorable. So impersonal spiritual detachment is more difficult than attaching the mind to the activities of Krishna. This is practical because by hearing about Krishna, one becomes automatically attached to Supreme Spirit. This attachment is called Pareshanubhava, spiritual satisfaction. It is just like feeling of satisfaction a hungry man has for every morsel of food he eats. So when a hungry man eats, his hunger reduces, he feels satisfied, he gets strength. Everything happens in one shot. The more one eats while hungry, the more one feels satisfaction and strength. Similarly, by discharge of devotion service, one feels transcendental satisfaction as the mind becomes detached from material objectives. It is something like curing a disease by expert treatment and appropriate diet. So, medicine is there, appropriate diet is there, so we will start feeling nice. So, hearing of transcendental activities of Lord Krishna is therefore expert treatment for the mad mind. Mad mind. Eating the foodstuffs, eating prasadam is the appropriate diet for suffering patient. So two solutions Prabhupada gives here. Hear about Krishna and eat prasadam. This is treatment process of Krishna consciousness. But this is not available in Dhyana Yoga and Jnana Yoga. This is not available. For them there is no prasad only. They have to eat dry leaves and simply live on water and sometimes only on air. In spite of all these austerities, they may still, fall down. Just like Vishwamitra. Just by hearing the tingling sound of the bells of the Apsara, he left he, um, his yoga practices. Asamshayatma yogo dushpara iti me matihi Veshatmana tu yataya sakhya vaputam upayataha. For one whose mind is unbridled, self-realization is difficult work. But he whose mind is controlled and who strives by appropriate means is assured of success. That is my opinion. The Supreme Personality of Godhead declares that one who does not accept proper treatment to detach the mind from material engagement can hardly achieve success in self-realization. um, Proper treatment to detach the mind from material engagement can hardly achieve any success in self-realization. Trying to practice yoga while engaging the mind in material enjoyment is like trying to ignite a fire while pouring water on it. Yoga practice without material control is a waste of time. Mental control. Yoga practice with mental control is a waste of time. Such a show of yoga may be materially lucrative, but it is useless as far as spiritual realization is concerned. Therefore, one must control the mind by engaging in constantly in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Unless one is engaged in Krishna consciousness, he cannot steadily practice. Um, he cannot steadily control the mind. A Krishna person easily achieves the result of yoga practice without separate endeavor. But a yoga practitioner cannot achieve success without becoming Krishna conscious. So Krishna conscious person, right? For him, detachment happens very easily. Okay, because he's getting attached to Krishna. But other yoga practitioners like Dhyan Yoga and Gyan Yoga, right? They have to forcefully go to forest, and it is not very enjoyable also. It is very painful. Getting it is very painful. Okay, Arjuna Vacha. Ayatiha श्रद्धयोपेत योगचालित मनसः अप्राप्य योग संसिद्धिम काम गतिम कृष्ण गच्छति. O Krishna, what is the destination of unsuccessful transcendentalists who in the beginning take to the process of self-realization with faith and who later desist due to worldly mindedness and does not attain perfection in mysticism? So Arjuna is asking, um, what happens when those who are not able to, become successful in yoga? What happens to them? Destination. What is the destination of unsuccessful transcendentalist? They may take to the process of yoga, but they may not attain perfection. What happens to them? Because he's seeing, right, it is very difficult to practice, so there is some failure rate is there. So he's asking this question: what happens next after failing? We may do engineering, we may do, some graduation. We will have this question: now, what happens if I fail in this exam? So Arjuna is asking that same thing. The path of self-realization of mysticism is described in Bhagavad Gita. The basic principle of self-realization is knowledge that the living entity is not in this material body, but that he is different from it, and that his happiness is in eternal life, bliss, and knowledge. These are transcendental beyond both body and mind. Self-realization is sought by the path of knowledge, by practice of eightfold system, or by bhakti yoga. In each of these processes, one has to realize constant position of the living entity, his relationship with God, and the activities whereby he can re-establish the lost link and achieve the highest perfection stage of Krishna consciousness. Following any of the above three methods, one is sure to reach the supreme goal sooner or later. This was asserted by Lord in the second chapter. Even a little endeavor on the transcendent path offers great hope for deliverance. Out of these three methods, the path of Bhakti Yoga is especially suitable for this age because it is most direct method of God consciousness or God realization. To be doubly assured, Arjuna is asking Lord Krishna to confirm his former statement. One may sincerely accept the path of self-realization, but the process of cultivation of knowledge and practice of eightfold systems are generally very difficult for this age. Cultivation of knowledge and eightfold system, now it is very difficult. Jnana Yoga and Dhyana Yoga, very difficult. Therefore, despite constant endeavor, one may fail for many reasons. First of all, one may not be sufficiently serious about following the process. Like I told that it may be some yogic exercises and all that, and they will be happy with that. The body became good. That's it. They won't go further. So they are not serious. To pursue transcendental path is more or less to declare war on illusory energy. Consequently, whenever a person tries to escape the clutches of illusory energy, she tries to defeat the practitioner by various allurements. I was talking about Maya's trick. So it happens with every yoga. In Dhyana Yoga and Jnana Yoga, they have to fight it by their own strength. In Bhakti Yoga, at least some mercy is there from devotees and Lord. A conditioned soul is allured by the modes of material energy, and there is every chance of being allured again, even while performing transcendent disciplines. This is called Yoga Chalita Manasaha, deviation from transcendent path. Arjuna is inquisitive to know the results of deviation from the path of self realization. Kaschit no bhava vibratas छिन्नाभ्रम एव नश्यति अप्रतिष्ठो महाबाहो vimuda brahmana patihi. Oh mighty am Krishna, does not such a person who is bewildered from path of transcendence fall from both material and spiritual success and perish like a raven cloud with no position in any sphere? So he thinks that he gives up material life, so he gives up material success also. Then he's not able to get spiritual success also. So he's not neither here neither there. So it's like giving this. You must have heard this, na? People spend so many years giving UPSC exams, IAS officers exams, Um, and how many seats are there per year? Do you know?
No, Prabhu.
Maybe 1200
Very
to
few.
1800, something like that. How
Hmm.
many sit for the exam?
Around lakhs.
Lakhs,
Yeah,
lakhs of people.
yeah,
Yeah.
few lakhs of people. So percentage is very small, na? So they try every year, maybe 5 years, 6 years. After doing that, what happens if they don't get and they are out of that eligibility criteria? They are neither here, they are neither there, right?
Hmm.
If one of their friend would have started a business, he would be in that business for 7 8 years. Now the business is growing, and now this person he cannot crack a UPSC exam. Now he's saying, what, I now at this age I have to start a business like you. I have zero money. So Arjun is also asking the same thing. Material success is not there. Now spiritual success is there. So it's like one cloud. In summertime there is one cloud that goes. It neither there no rain falls from it, and it is the only cloud that is going in the sky. So he feels, it's a useless cloud, no? So he feels like that. There are two ways to progress. Those who are materialistic have no interest in transcendence. Therefore, they are more interested in material advancement by economic development or in promotion to higher planets by appropriate work. When one takes to the path of transcendence, one has to cease all material activities and sacrifice all forms of so-called material happiness. If the aspiring transcendence fails, then he apparently loses both ways. In other words, he can enjoy neither material happiness nor spiritual success. He has no position. He's like a rival cloud. The cloud in the sky sometimes deviates from a small cloud and joins a big one. But if it cannot join, then it is blown away by the wind and becomes a non-entity in the vast sky. The Brahmana Pati is the path of transcendental realization through knowing oneself to be spiritual innocence, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, who is manifested as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. Lord Sri Krishna is a full manifestation of the Supreme Absolute Truth, and therefore one who is surrendered to the Supreme Person is a successful transcendentalist. To reach this goal of life through Brahman and Paramatma realization takes many, many births. Okay, so this Gyan Yoga and Dhyan Yoga, right? They come to what realization? Brahman and Paramatma realization, and it takes many many births to come. Now every birth is not guaranteed, na? Success is not guaranteed, but in bhakti yoga one birth is enough. Okay, so this is the difference between Gyan yoga, Dhyan yoga, and bhakti yoga. They have to take many many births, and bhakti yoga in one birth only we are on the right path, and we may take few more births, that's it, not many many births but few more births. एतान्नि संशयां कृष्ण चेतुम् अर्हसि अशेषः अशेषतः त्वद् अन्याः संशयास्य चेतन हि उपापद्यते. This is my doubt, O Krishna. I ask you to dispel it completely. But for you, no one is found to be is to be found who can destroy this doubt. Krishna is a perfect knower of past, present, and future. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, Lord said that all living entities exist individually in the past. They exist now in the present, and they continue to retain individual identity in the future, even after liberation from material entanglement. So he has already cleared up the question of future of the living entity now. Now Arjuna wants to know the future of the unsuccessful transcendentalist. No one is equal to or above Krishna, and certainly the so-called sages and philosophers who are at the mercy of material nature cannot equal him. Therefore, the verdict of Krishna is final and complete, answer to all doubts, because he knows present, future, perfect, past and present, but no one knows him. Krishna and Krishna conscious devotee alone can know what is what. So Krishna, he knows the answer. Arjuna therefore asks Krishna, you tell, you dispel my doubt. Any questions at this point?
No, Prabhu.
We'll just go to read through, what he says, and then we'll stop for today. I have to stop early. The Supreme Personal Godhead said, O son of Pratha, transcendental engage in auspicious activity does not meet with destruction either in this world or spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. So the complete destruction doesn't happen. Okay, there is slow progress. Unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment on the planet of pious living entities, so they go to Swargaloka. They enjoy over there. After their vacation is done, they come back to earth. They take birth in family of righteous people and family of rich aristocracy, because they will get easy access to brahmanas, easy access to dharma, Vedas, and then they can pick up from where they had left. Or if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes birth in a family of transcendentalists. And those who were really serious and very little was only remaining, they take birth in the family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Meaning here they take birth in, in the case of Brahmanical families, or families which are, everyone is very spiritual. This is a very rare birth. On taking birth, he revised divine consciousness of his previous life and then again tries to make further progress in order to achieve complete success. Okay, so we will
Yes.
stop here. Any questions at this point?
I have one question. Maybe if you have time to answer, otherwise we can discuss in the next time also.
No, you
I,
ask.
I
Ask.
So my doubt is about there is a conflict that I feel like something like in the Kartik month is coming. Okay, from start from tomorrow. So we says that if someone offers a lamb to a Supreme Lord, he will be sent back to Godhead. Okay,
Yeah.
and with the parallel to that, we are also saying that there are people who are actually doing this bhakti. So they might have done this thing also. Like they might
Yes.
have offered
Yes.
Kartik, but
Yeah.
then
Yeah. Yes. So,
and they are coming back.
so you see, um, I'll give you a example. So many people apply for H-1B visa, right, for United States.
Yes.
Do all of them go?
No.
All of them who got the visas, let's say how many 50, 60,000 people got visa. Do all of them go in the month of October when their visa, starts? No, right?
Maybe not. No. Yeah.
Yeah, some people don't go. Why? Because they didn't get work there. They just got a visa, but they didn't get a work. Not they were interested. Some say, I'm not interested. I'm happy here,
Mm.
right? So it's like that. You got visa, but you're not interested. You are holding back. So there is a personal desire that comes in picture. Okay,
Mm.
uh, there are so many temples, right? But do everybody go? No. Why? Because there is some personal desire. Personal desire should be there, na, to go. So
Mm.
that is more important. So everyone
So
gets chance by doing this devotional activities, chanting the holy name, and offering the diya and all that. But if you ask them what is your goal, some may say, my goal is, say I'm having so many difficulties now. I want that to be just go away. I want to live
mm.
peacefully. I want to live rich. Many people fall into these two categories. These two categories, many people fall: distress and desire of wealth.
Mm.
So they may also do some bhakti activities, but their goal is what? Within the heart, they may have desires. Like, I have so many problems. Let that go away, which is okay. After going away, what they want? I will go back to material world. That is the problem. Some say I want some wealth. Some may be really poor. Something cannot be even no money to even have food and all that, right? So some money will come, but then what happens? They'll forget Krishna. Okay,
Okay.
and some are just
Mm-hmm.
inquisitive, but they may not become serious. So yes, the point is that one has to become serious.
Mm.
Okay, and that seriousness means he should be thinking of searching for the knowledge of the absolute.
Mm. So it means like you are eligible to go to back, but if you keep that desire, for
Ah,
example, if I keep that desire to go to backward and I don't, I have that visa, for example, going to back to God, but and I keeping that desire, but I am not following the process.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm not doing any chanting or anything or associating, but still I have the desire to go back. So in that case, will I go back to God?
Now see, desire is again, is it a weak desire, strong desire?
Hmm.
That is also um, that also comes into picture, right? A weak desire means
Yes.
that person will just desire but won't work for it.
Hmm.
Strong desire means even if difficulties come, he will work for it,
Hmm. Okay.
like that.
Yeah, I
Like
got your point. Like,
we see in cricket match,
hmm.
they have a desire to win, but then they have to work for it also, right? The last
Yes.
ball is there, you have to hit it. You know, some players are like, okay, I give it up, and
Hmm.
some are like they will play till the last ball, but they won't give it up, right? So like, yeah, the point is strong desire. You either be you either be hot or cold, but don't be lukewarm. Cold means
Hmm.
don't be interested. Okay, fine, you're not interested. Hot means you're very much interested. Lukewarm means
Hmm.
you're 50-50. So this is said by Jesus Christ. He said, don't be lukewarm. You have a very intense desire. Okay?
Hmm.
Tivrena bhakti
Yes.
yogena. That's the verse. Tivrena bhakti yogena. So that tivrata should be there. If that tivrata is there,
Hmm.
then one will go back to God.
Okay. And even if you have Tivratana, then you will also follow the process also.
Yeah, now you got it.
Yeah. Okay. Got it, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay, any last question? Or we can stop?
No, Prabhu. That is all, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I have a general doubt,
Yeah,
matlab
yeah.
not related to this question.
Huh.
Recently, I was going through a PDF of this Bhakti Vriksha sessions. Then, in that statement was there that many people do not relate to impersonal aspect. Um, uh, and most of the people relate to the that God doesn't have a form. Mm, uh, it was given in that, but it was not given clearly. So I wanted to know why can't, because we have a form, then it is easier for us to connect to God's form that is personal. Then, but still, why do most of the people they do not accept that God has a form?
Few reasons, Mataji. One thing is like there are these impersonalists who are very strong preachers. The line of Shankaracharya.
Mm. Yes.
So their preaching over a period of time is also spread all over India, all over world. Okay, so they emphasize the Brahman aspect of the Lord, and they say that is the final. Okay, and then there is Buddhist philosophy also. You become zero and all that. So that's the one reason. Second reason is the form that we have, right, is very painful form. So we may think that the form There is nothing like spiritual form. Meaning without the body is the best thing, right? If we are having some sickness now, the best is what we
Mm.
think. Oh, if I don't have this body, then only it's good, right? So the concept of this formlessness comes, that if the form is only not there, then I'll be very happy.
Then no pain will be
Yeah,
there.
no pain will be there. So they don't come to this understanding that the form is there where there is no pain. Instead they think that to have no pain there is no form required. Okay.
Acha.
Yeah,
Mm.
so that's the idea. So Vedas also say these words, um, nirakar. So then everybody thinks, okay, nirakar is there in the Vedas. That means no akar, no form, right? So they come to this conclusion.
Mm.
Okay, so be have to have no form is the best thing. Hmm?
Okay, okay, Prabhuji.
Yeah, and of course this is um, the preaching of the Shankaracharya line is very very strong. It's very spread. So
Mm.
I'll tell you one more thing, that they also worship form. They also worship deities. But once the person becomes very very advanced and detached, right? They go and do they immerse the deity in the sea or river. That is the Advaita path.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So that tells that okay, now you have become very advanced. Now you don't need a form worship.
And one more thing I have recently heard about like Sankaracharya is like that for us the deity worship is the highest level for
Ah, ha,
like
ha.
Gaudiya Vaishnava,
Yes,
but for
yes.
Sankaracharya deity worship is the lowest level.
Lowest in sense, it is just one level, and then after
Yeah.
that they go and immerse the deity,
Yes.
and they only think about formless.
Hmm.
Prabhuji, I have another question related to this. When Shankaracharya and I mean like followers, they're saying that God doesn't have a form, but he also wrote Bhaja Govindam, glorifying Lord
Yeah, yeah,
Krishna.
yeah. So
And then
um,
how do they name them, Prabhuji? Suppose two formless things are there, they will name one formless thing as Govinda and one formless thing as Lord Shiva. Will they do like that, Prabhuji? Then they are saying that God doesn't have a form. It means that all gods are one, no?
um, so there's a history behind it, which says what is the purpose of Lord Shiva. Lord
Because he has
Shiva was
written
purposefully come. Yeah, so he had
many
purpose.
poems on Lord Shiva also, no?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So the thing is,
Nirvana
he.
Shatakam and all those
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So he came to defeat the Buddhist philosophy. With this philosophy is philosophy of zero. So he said. So he came with the philosophy that we are all one. So with that philosophy, he could get rid of Buddhism. So that's why. So that is the purpose of Lord Shiva in the form of Shankaracharya. Okay. So there's a purpose for that. Why he came, and then still he gave some hints of bhakti,
Yes,
like
Prabhu.
like this prayer of uh, Bhaja Govindam. Then
Bhaja
he named
Govindam.
one mutt, Govardhan Mutt in Jagannath Puri. To name it Govardhan is a very very bhakti way. Okay, so yeah, so this much only. We will come to again to this Shankaracharya thing. Okay.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank
Hare
you very much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.